specifically for those who have not listened, we are pretty much talking about to spin that conversation and pretty much its effect on black music, specifically hip hop, as well as female rappers and pretty much their reputation. So what I'm doing is I'm definitely playing devil's advocate, not only because the song is actually pretty dope. Like I like the song, I like the conduction of it when it comes to like the jazz influence in the background and stuff like that. But on top of that, I feel like this is also Young Miami's first success
Mhm,
outside of City Girls. And I also
mhm.
think that she's getting a lot of attention for this because she was also included in the whole Diddy situation. And
Yeah,
I found out earlier this week that she wrote a character like letter to help Diddy's case, or help
yeah,
Diddy in his case. So I
yeah,
think that that's also drawing some attention because it's like, all right, like not only were you a part of this whole thing, and there are legal documents that have you listed as one of the people involved in this whole thing, and now you're dropping a song called Spin That, and you're talking about, the scammers, the boosters. It's supposed to be that entire, how should I say, that entire steez, when it
yeah,
comes to that life and that world.
yeah.
But in regards to what Ahmad was saying, because Ahmad was definitely being
No,
very,
keep going.
uh,
I'm gonna rehash it once
okay.
you finish your point.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 So to my point, I am playing devil's advocate when I say when we look at rappers like Rhapsody, when we look at rappers like Tierra Whack, like a great
Yeah,
artist who has
yeah,
just dropped an album recently.
yeah.
We
Amazing,
we we
my favorite.
we yeah, we don't talk enough about these artists because they're not as flashy when it comes to glorifying that side and that world. And honestly, that's not really them. However,
Yeah,
you also have to understand that they have to work a lot harder in order to push their music out. Let's look at Tierra Whack in some cases because
yeah, yeah.
she's very versatile as an artist when it comes
Mhm.
to rapping over more classic traditional rap beats and then fucking spazzing out on trap beats with like Lil Yachty and shit.
Yeah,
She has to go through making movies and acting in order for her to get her music out. She had a song that was on the Him soundtrack that I think was actually played in the movie, but she also acted in that movie. That was her acting debut in a major film. A lot of artists who put out music with a lot more context and a lot more content, they have to work harder and find different avenues. Look at Vince Staples. Even though he's had, I wouldn't say commercial hits, but he definitely had like low key hits like Magic, and Big Fish Theory was also commercially successful because it had a different sound. He had to go through using other avenues of media in order for him to push his music out and be able to have the audience present for him to put out albums like Crybaby when he finally went independent. But I think when it comes to artists who have a deeper meaning, they have to work harder to get their music out and be able to get it to audiences that may have not come across their stuff. Maybe somebody like myself might listen to a lot of trap music, a lot of 3 6, a lot of fucking Project Pat, but then all of a sudden I might watch Atlanta or P Valley and then come across their music and now I'm a fan. You have to work a lot harder. And I think because of that,
uh,
when it comes to songs like this that are successful in the summer of the song,
I'm
I
put
think it puts that conversation into context.
okay, here's my
Excuse me.
pushback, right? Here's my pushback.
Okay.
And again, my point is this. This is I'm happy to be actually talking about this. My point is this. The song itself is not the issue. The
Yeah.
song is not the issue. The song is this the song is an evolution of Trina. The song is an evolution of Eve. The song is an evolution of like is
Right.
there's a Foxy Brown's is an evolution of a some evolution of salt and pepper. Like there's an evolution of tree where you can see why this might exist. And I think that's fine. Um I do think some people can't be mad at somebody who don't want to hear scammer escort music either though. So I think that's fine for NDRE, who was an older woman, to be like, hey,
Right.
this shit is ridiculous. My issue, but my point to as to why I think she has a very valid argument, a point, and I think we should discuss is the larger argument, which is Why is this the only perception of women in the public music general sphere? Radio, like videos don't exist no more, but like
Yeah.
how videos are consumed, those are the videos are mostly up there, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. How videos are consumed, those are the bigger videos, or whatever. There's no MTV, there's no BET on Texas Park, but whatever comes to videos, those are the ones that normally are the best. Same with the music, how it's pumped out the ecosystem, so whatever. My issue is there was a time where that was level playing field where you might hear there was a time where you would hear the Fugees before Lauryn Hill put out her first album. You would hear the Fugees off of Lauryn Hill on the Fugees records because it was still played in the space. Like you would hear you had LL Cool J on the radio, but you also had other people on the radio who might not have been as big as LL, but still had the same. They would get at least radio play. I don't think you're gonna hear Tara Wright. You cut on any radio station. We're in the DC market. DC used to play Wale. DC used to play Tabby Bonet. DC used to play who else from DC? I can't
Yeah.
think of one. Fat Trail. You might hear Fat Trail doing some of the club mixes, like when it's club time.
Gold Link,
But Gold and you DC
Gold
used to.
Link, Shy Glizzy.
Yes. DC used to. I
They
mean, we
still
might be
they
talking
still doing some cases.
DC used to
They still
though.
doing
You
some cases.
Yo, they have blocks, but it's not the same. Like on the general during the day time span, you used to hear DC records throughout the day. Not just on like a go-go mix, not just on like a DC mix. You would hear that, bro. I heard that Tabby Bonet song so much.
Put it in the
Put me in the
pocket.
pocket. Yo,
Yeah,
I
that
heard
was
that joint
yeah.
so
We had
much.
hey, side note, I don't mean to cut you off. I think we had somebody from Morgan in that video or in one of the videos associated
I'm sure. I'm sure we did. Probably had a Morgan shirt.
with Tabby Monet. But I
Absolutely.
digress. Yeah,
So my
wow.
it, my is they all other options. You have Samara Singh, you have Tierra Whack, like you said. You have and that's I think Mona Leo should be on the radio. I think she's a really great rapper and she makes music, and I'm sure she's gonna
That
make a
Put Me
song
On song is fire.
yeah, she'll probably make a song that pops over, I get that, but there are other elements there that I think is also really good songs. But my whole thing is, why is that the only way in? And I don't think I think that's a fair thing to say because if you've been in hip hop long enough, there was variation, bro. You used to have Lady of Rage in the in the space. You had Yo-Yo, you had
That's
people who
true.
were different, you know what I'm saying? Even to your point earlier, uh, a second point, which was Knife Wonder was talking about this on, I think, Twitter, yeah, yesterday. I don't know if you saw. It was actually like a nice little threads and stuff like that was all happening. He was saying he never really paid that big like growing up, which is true because I would love to get your opinion on this. They never really paid attention to billboards. Like they didn't care if a song got popular, they stopped liking it, which is so true. Cause you more concerned about like what's the best thing, the new thing, the odd thing, not really like what's the most popular thing. And it got to the point where he was like, when they would play like the popular song, we were like, man, why are you playing it? Playing some fire. And he was like, the source carried more weight. It was important. I want to love to hear you think about like, does that exist anymore? Like, what is the mechanism to that? Because you kind of lost all of our like media gatekeepers, I guess. Source XXL is a ghost. You know what I'm saying? Most
Yeah.
influencers are paid off or want to get close to somebody else. So they don't really give real opinions.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's a whole slew of things that is happening currently in media as to why it doesn't have the same level of authority that it recently, that it used to have when it comes to albums.
yeah,
You got to think first
yeah,
things first. We live in a digital age where even though you do have a lot of listens on Spotify, Apple Music, streaming services like
yeah,
that, a lot of money doesn't go into music when it comes to the more physical aspects of things. And now
right,
we're getting to a point where a lot of these companies want to own the license for music, games, movies, media, and control everything so that the consumer is only consumers instead of having a force of agency when it comes to using media. So that's going to change the way that money is being made, and then also change the way that, like, when it comes to physical media, also changes. I do think that we will get to a point where the nostalgia of having physical media is going to really, show. But I think right
Yeah,
now, since everything is changing so abruptly, I think now that we're now kind of missing some of the small things that physical media has brought to us. So we got to look at the bigger picture before we even get to how the media is affected. Because now we're also seeing the media landscape changing and a lot of different artists from different genres are beginning to actually get shine because the billboard has changed a lot. So now
yeah,
you start, and then also we haven't included AI. So I just think because of everything changing so much currently at this time, and I wouldn't say a lot, in a lot of terms for the best. I do think that that is changing specifically black media and also how we cover music. There's so much music that's being released from the smaller artists that, the guy down the street that makes music to the big artists that are changing the industry. I think because there's so much overflow of stuff coming out, it's a lot harder to navigate the scene unless you're doing stuff like on the radar or you're in the news for controversy, kind of like spin that.
yeah,
And it's hard for us to track the new artists because if for a lot of writers, people aren't reading a lot. So now you got to go to video and because the short attention spans that we have currently
yeah,
is kind of breaking how we make media in the new age. Now you got a lot of artists who are who have to show up for podcasts, who have to do these things in order to put their face out there and also get their music out there as well. uh, and if luckily, if the algorithm helps you out and you start trending from your music, then you get something. I think Tyga is starting to get a little wave for the recent track that he dropped. And then there was another artist that was said to have used AI for his song. That sounds like an 80s song, even though he said it wasn't AI. You got so many things that are happening that a lot of media companies are looking at what's happening instead of who is the next artist to rise from all of this and make that difference. You still have media outlets that do it, but because the money is so scarce in media currently, it makes it a lot harder and you don't have those people who are looking for the next artist with there being so much overflow. So I think I think it's a case study for
yeah,
how we look at how the economy is truly affecting the music industry specifically. But if we're bringing it down to more of a microcosm of what's happening with our media, I just think that the lack of money, the lack of resources that we've always had to deal with, but dealing with much more currently, and the lack of discovering new artists and seeing artists develop has made it a lot harder to find artists if you're a source or an XXL. You're looking for the ones that really pop on social media, but are they really good artists? Are they really developed? Do they really have everything put down when it comes to their story, their sound, and also their professional acumen to actually be in the industry?
mm,
And a lot of times now, because we might see a new artist have a hit and then disappear just like that. There's so many artists that came out in the SoundCloud era that don't even have a run now. I still listen to Smoke Perp. That
yeah,
sounds crazy in
yeah. It
2026.
does sound crazy.
But
I
at
agree.
one point, he had a fire ass album with Death Star, then he was making music with Juicy J. About 2 years
Yeah,
later, nobody like listened to his music and he was having empty crowds. So it's our landscape is changing and it's just due to the several factors of the economy and of the current world that's going on that's affecting how we look at music and where we get our artists from
yeah,
and how we look at music being made and created for us.
yeah. I also wonder how people use AI to find new ways to get people to listen to music. I'm interested to see how what that looks like. It might be a software, it might be a hardware, but I'm curious to know what that looks like and how people will use that. Like, can you can't make your I don't know. Do you make your own streaming service through AI? Who knows? We can I don't know. We'll see, man.
Mm.
It just it's something's gonna change, but people still wanna keep making music. I think the issue will be how do you get people to listen to it? It's harder than ever. But listen, what a great way to open this
Now,
week's
wait,
episode.
wait, wait. What
Go.
I I was gonna ask you. I want to ask you a question
Yeah.
before we actually get the show started. Get the show started. What do you think about the abrupt change when it comes to physical media disappearing? I think
Oof.
when it comes, like one thing that I was talking to Garrett Kennedy when I was doing my thesis. One thing that he told me is that a lot of people think that by like listening to music on Spotify is equal to buying an album and buying
They
a
do.
physical
Yeah,
album for
they do.
consumption.
People do. Yes, that's true.
A- And also, the Billboard still includes physical copies when it comes to sales. What do you think about the abrupt change in physical media? I'm seeing it a lot in the gaming world with Grand Theft Auto 6,
Yeah.
but you know that that's coming to physical, coming to music soon. I think vinyls is really saving physical media when it comes to music, but you don't see a lot of CDs made. A lot of cars aren't really having CD players
Yeah, I
anymore.
know.
I
It's
got a
crazy.
CD
I don't
player.
I don't
Fuck
actually
that,
miss having one.
you know?
I
Yeah, hey
I miss
man,
having one. Yeah, for real.
every like there used to be a record store down the way, rest in peace, C Depot. I think that's the name of it. But I will always go to that record store and go buy a CD for the car.
Yeah, I miss it. I
I've had
really
it in my
do. Like,
Ford 500
yeah. I want to
to this
actually
day.
get in a place where I'm gonna start buying CDs and storing them, and I want to buy a car with a CD player. Sometimes I actually miss the sound of CD player. What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it's one. I think it fucking sucks, and but I think we can talk about it. We can unravel to a bunch of other stuff. Probably keep it to this. I think people it's it's hard to be convinced. It's more convenient to say,
Mm,
"Here, you got it. It's right. You own it right now. You don't need to go to the store. You don't need to wait 2 weeks. You don't need to anything. You just press a button, and we take the money from your account, and the music is there." I think it's really hard to beat that. I think the person he was talking about, I agree 100%. People think streaming an album counts the same as paying for an album. I also think labels need to figure out a way they won't do it to get more money from streaming services. I think that's all fucking crazy. That is why I said I wonder what artists will do with AI about like changing the thing. I don't mean like I hate the fact that musicians are using AI to make music, but not using AI to find better ways to distribute their own music. Like, can you make a hardware that is like a keepsake and the music exists within this thing and it's AI and it connects to something else? Like, can you make that right? And a person buys like you buy Larry June's orange merch thing is like something you put on your table, but also it connects to your speaker. You can play the music through there. Can is that the AI space will take us next? I think that's what artists should start considering. Because I think people, if people can get your music that way, where it's like a keepsake and like a people, I think people want things. But the thing about a CD player is you got to buy the CD player and buy the da da da. If musicians can find other ways of buying, like replacing it, I think that'll be a great idea for them. I think businesses,
mm,
corporations are trying to find ways to cut their overhead and find means and ways to like save money so they getting rid of this because it ain't just easiest to give you that. You don't want to manufacture this. And I think people need to start saying fuck these places and stick by not buying this shit if you want it. Because I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was Amazon or some streaming services, so somebody had bought some movies, like bought them, not rent them through some platform, and the platform said we're taking it down, even though you paid for it and not giving you money back. This fucking that is crazy.
yep.
Crazy. That is crazy. And they was like, "Hey, I own this." Like they was like, "No, the fuck you don't. It's still on my platform." So yeah, man, I think it's tough. I think it's really tough. I think the artists that are smart and use AI to their benefit for like how to get music out, whether it's a software like a stream, like your own. Imagine you tell an artist, sign up for my app, and you get your email, and then you can listen to my music through this app. You get it a week, you hear it 2 weeks in advance. Plus, it'll have songs that might not be on
Yeah.
the album, plus something else. And then once you do that, it's a tied to like, okay, now you can buy this merch. You can buy whatever is tied to my brand or the theme. And I like think like a Tyler the Creator type thing. You can buy this a week in advance,
Yeah.
2 weeks in advance. Boom, boom, boom. They might make the money they were made from streaming in totality just off doing that before they even put it on streaming for the masses. If you build it up that way and using AI, because you don't need to be a big artist to do that. You can use AI to build the Shopify and then build the merch, and then you got to figure the technology component. But my whole thing is like that. If artists do that, I think they can still maintain the thing that fans want, which is like a something to hold that connects to those artists. uh, but labels are gonna find every way to save a penny because that's who the fuck they are, and they're awful, and they don't like innovation, and they don't care about fans. So I hope artists see the value in it. Hope they don't just go with this shit because it'd be really awful. But it sucks, man. It's I saw your CD the other day. I was going through stuff in the basement because I don't have a CD player. So I was going through shit, and I don't have a DVD player. I don't have none of that shit. It stops, dog. So I'm gonna get it.
You ain't got a hold on,
I
hold on. You
know.
ain't got a don't you got a game console?
He got the one I got. We bought him the one that don't need the disc. Yeah,
Shit.
we bought him
No.
the one. Not even
I,
thinking.
I understand
This
why.
Christmas,
Fuck.
the sale was there. I think it was hard to find maybe. So he was like, let's just get this one. Not even thinking, you know what I mean? Because you sold is not in my card, not in my
Yeah.
wife's card. It's my last card
Damn.
didn't have my sedan. Did the sedan have? No, Mazda didn't put sedans in those. So my last my 2 cars, my wife card, no CD player, bro. So that's why I got
Mm.
so many vinyls. I love vinyls because I get to play and get to feel it.
Rest in
But
peace.
no, no,
Yeah.
no CD player, dog. It's crazy. I see what they doing, and sucks, bro. But I thought about
Yeah.
you because I
I
saw your
I think
CD
the
the other
cool
day, and I'm like, oh shit, off the dribble, the one you had the Yokohama
wait, which
jacket on, the
one?
one with the Yokohama jacket on. Yeah, I saw that one the
Oh
other
my
day, and I
gosh,
was
that was a
like,
good one.
damn. I can't even play the damn thing. Yeah.
You can put it on the
Yeah,
shelf though.
yeah. But yeah, man, I feel, man, I really hope that like it's happening across all platforms. Just I think they underestimate the amount of people who actually appreciate the stuff, can collect the stuff, and it means something to them. Um, but it's out I hope artists completely understand that and pay me your percentage if you stole my idea. This is documented whenever it's released. Just
Yeah.
you can give me a point zero zero what whatever. But yeah, I think that's the next phase, man. Somebody has to figure out how to use it to disrupt the distribution. But his music has always done that, yo. Mixtapes, LimeWire, bootlegs.
Yeah.
Um, Artists can't get out of contract. They find other ways to do it. So I'm hoping people understand it. Hope people don't get too duped by it. But yeah, man, that's the only way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the only way. I think the cool thing is now that you're starting to see like more retro technology be created to actually use older media. So I know that they've recently made kind of like a Bluetooth speaker for CD players, which is cool.
Hmm.
And you could, you got tech like that that you might just have around your house where you could just pop in the CD, from your collection and just play
Yeah,
aloud. But you are starting to see a lot more technology for on the small scale be built in order to use physical media
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah,
So I do think eventually we might get back to a point where it's nostalgic. I just think that right now is not really that point, which sucks because now they're just like, you don't need media, you don't need physical media at all. Let's cut this cost,
yeah,
like you said.
yeah, yeah.
So I digress.
That's the root of it.
Since we were talking about that, yeah,
Yeah, that's the root of
yeah.
it.
Root of all evil.
The labels, man, the labels,
Yes.
bro. You know what I mean? They just want not just the labels, but the businesses. You're trying to
They
wherever they can cut a cost, they're gonna cut a cost, and fans don't
right,
do nothing about it. I mean, it is
right,
what it is. But
right.
I think it's up to the artist, and who's going to make that investment. I don't know. I think if someone like Taylor Swift comes out the gate with it, or Beyonce come out the gate with it, people will. I think Kanye would have done it if he wasn't
Stupid.
like
Sorry.
no that too, but
In that
he's
world,
also blackballed, rightfully so. He's also blackballed,
rightfully
rightfully
so.
so. He's
Yeah.
blackballed right now. So Kanye was. Oh my god, I don't even want to get this dude fucking props. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the record report. Another episode, another week. We want to find a great way to chop that up, man. I think that's right. A great way to open the episode every week. It's just like a great conversation, and you can just kick it off from there. But as always, it's a
Yeah.
mod.
And this is your boy Vance B. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good?
Let's hope so. And this week we
Yeah, I
don't
hope
have an
so. Yeah.
album. I mean, we had a good album drops. We had a couple of B-sides. We got a really fun album coming up too. I'm excited about the next album that Vance picked. But this week we're
Yes, sir.
we're doing on something. Vance, I had an idea. We was talking. I think we did this before. We did this like the end of the year. And I was like, hey man, we should do like a middle
Yeah.
point of the year because I'm gonna fucking forget what I liked.
Yep.
And then I can come back
Yep.
to this and be like, oh shit, I did like that. I did like that. So this is just going to be just a fun episode where we get to just talk about what albums that came out this year that we like. Yeah, man, this is fun going back and looking, thinking about all of the albums I played. Yeah, yeah. That's fun. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
want to kick off first?
I'm,
What you think?
yeah, I could definitely kick it off. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just go ahead and first of all say that I think this year has been kind of an interesting year for me because while I may have been listening to a lot of new albums, I've also been just getting into maybe some of the songs that came out in the early 2020s that I might have skipped over or, may have stumbled
Ooh, like
across
what? Like
recently.
what?
So definitely, oh my gosh, I was talking about him recently, uh, but there's a dude on Spotify that I've been listening to who has a lot of Southern music similar to, Mexico Dro, but it's a little bit more refined than Mexico Dro.
Hmm,
I don't have his name right now because I think it's like Duck something? Duck Range or something? I digress.
Duck Range.
There's a lot of artists. Nah, don't worry about the name. I can't really come to mind off the bat specifically, but I because I listen to Spotify Discover weekly so much, occasionally they'll throw songs from like 2022,
Yeah, it'd be all
2023
over the place.
that
Yeah.
might have came out and I completely forget.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like I think that's been really making me, go back to certain artists that might have had kind of a mini run at that time with their music or just songs that makes me say, oh man, I might need to invest into that.
Hmm.
Actually, I can give you an artist. Mavi,
Oh
he did something with Overcast
yeah,
that just showed up on my Spotify recently. And now I'm starting to listen to a lot of Mavi again. Like I was fucking with the song that he made with Earl Sweatshirt as well.
yeah. That's my shirt.
So I do yeah, I do think that there are really good artists to come out with albums. And when I was looking through the list for the albums to come out just in rap, I was like, shit, there was so many that I didn't really know about. So I do think that it was a lot tougher for me to find new music that, came out because there's such an overflow of music to come out. However, I did manage to find a good six to throw out there that, you know,
Well,
that
6,
I was really digging.
man.
So
You're gonna be here all night. I went
yeah,
too damn long. I went too damn far.
yeah. Nah. I'll probably just throw I guess like the last few is like, mentions. But
Yeah.
I guess the first one that's really been hitting my dome has been the Suave Prelude EP.
Yeah, you put me
Oh
on
my
it, yo.
God.
I like that.
It's first of all,
Like,
I didn't necessarily know that I've been listening to this man since 2017. Cause he made this song called Quick Trip that was dope. And I was like, man, this is a fire ass song. I made it in I've added it to a mix all the way back in 2017, 2018. So when I found that out while listening to this new EP, I was like, yo, I've been a fan of this dude for a while since he was actually like really out here in these streets. So when he dropped the Prelude EP, it starts out with a Jermaine Dupri Cosign, and he kills the first beat, and then the second one is Caskets. I've never seen a 1-2 punch like that in a while from an artist when it comes to an album. It's very similar to how Project Pat started his album. What was the album that it wasn't Crook by the Buck, was it? That was the album that we did a while ago, like back in 2020. It was the one with him robbing somebody on a security camera. I think that's Crook by the Buck, or I don't know. I might have said the title wrong, but I digress. Because his first two songs off the top of the rope are really good, I would definitely say that it makes the album a lot more consumable. Now, I'm not saying that that means that the other songs are like bad or mid. The other songs are actually fire. He actually has a storytelling element in 6 minutes. And then he also sampled Ashanti that has really been hitting my dome lately because I'm a huge Ashanti. Like, I love Ashanti's music. So there are other aspects of this album that are great, but for somebody that is still making a run musically and a lot of people don't really know about like that, I really feel like people should at least give this EP a run because there's a song on the project that might fit any rap lover specifically, and any rap lover who's a fan of Southern rap as well. So yeah, yeah, I would probably throw out Suave, the Prelude EP, as my first choice. Right? Yeah. I have not dived into that project, but I definitely have to because, yo, yeah, yeah. Like I've always been a fan of Sierra Whack. I've always been a fan of her versatility specifically. So to see that she dropped another album, I'm excited, and I'm just more excited to see her grow as an artist because aside of her just dropping really good music, she always adds another aesthetic or another layer to the project that she's doing, whether it's visual or even for just maybe a single that she's doing for a movie, she has visuals that match it. So I would definitely, I'm definitely excited to actually listen to her project Wax Museum. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's good to hear that she pull no punches and she's being completely her, which is what makes her a star in some cases. Yeah, yeah. She's always had this too, ever since she made Whack World. It just seems like she just keeps getting better. It's crazy. She just keeps getting better at the direction, the art behind it, the idea of like the even the album covers. They just get better. And yeah, I do think that eventually she's going to get her the shine and the flowers that she deserves. But of course, it is going to take time. So I understand that, and I'm patient. Also, like, she really like she's very up. I don't know if it is just for me, but she's very up close with her fans, and I think that's one thing that I appreciate more. It makes me want to root for her more. Like she's more. You could tell that you're talking to her on Instagram, so that's crazy. That might just be me, and because I'm a music journalist, sort of. But yo, that is yeah, that was the thing that was like, all right, I'm running with you, dog. Like you the real one out here, and you approaching your fans like that. There's a reason why Serena Williams listens to your music. So yeah, good choice for sure. Hell yeah, hell yeah. My next one is going to be ASAP Rocky's "Don't Be Dumb." Oh yeah, I am kicking myself for not being able to go to the concert this Saturday or this weekend. That he's performing at yeah. He's performing in New Jersey. No, New Jersey. Yeah. I think he's not performing at the Giant Stadium, but I think it is like I think it's a concert hall, or not a concert hall, but a big ass venue. Yeah, an arena. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is performing somewhere around the area. So I did want to go to to that performance, but the price of tickets, as well as the drive up there, as well as the plan to stay somewhere. It's a lot of money. I ain't got that much to spend out here. I think that's why he's doing it in New Jersey. But it's at like an actual venue or actual arena. So I think that he's trying to get both the New York crowd and the New Jersey crowd together, like the whole tri-state area together for that event. Because after that, he's going to other places across the country, and then he's going overseas to perform, which I know is going to be dope as hell. But yeah, I want to be able to see him before he goes overseas. So I want to find a way to make that work. But specifically for Don't Be Dumb, this is one of my favorite albums of the year. It was really cool to see ASAP Rocky find a way to bring a younger version of him to the modern space. That was his goal before the album dropped, and he definitely did that. You do see a side of him that shows the more edgier aspects of who he was in the past, from when he was just a young jit just making, I shouldn't have said that, but a young artist who made a peso and purple swag and songs like that, all the way up to the point where his friend died and he's making an album dedicated to him. Rest in peace, Yams. I do think that you saw those elements from that era of ASAP Rocky, and that be thrown into the modern world. Instead of him just talking about the normal things that he talk about, I think the extra layer is the level of maturity he's made through those years while still pulling off this character that he's created. And I think Don't Be Dumb mashes both the character with with who he is currently, and brings that both together as if he was a WWE wrestler. So this album was dope not only because of that, but then you got a lot of the modern artists like Brent Fayez, like Sauce Walker, hopping on different tracks and adding that modern element. I just thought that it was a really good return for ASAP Rocky that shows that he might have took a break from making music, but he's one of the originators of the sound that is currently running the game, whether it's through a man or a woman. And I think that he was one of the precursors to the artists that we have now, even though that has changed over the years. But we immediately saw the wave that he created when it came to the SoundCloud era. And I think when it comes to specifically this album, he kind of lets people know that he is one of those OGs in the game, and he knows how to truly show that. So I really thought that this was a dope ass album, and then musically, conceptually, it was really good. The production was fire. It was very diverse, and I also liked the fact that he had different audio cuts or audio clips to help send the message of his song to you, aside from the songs being made. So there was a lot of thought that was provided in this process, and I think, in my opinion, it's a work of art, just due to the combination of everything and the replayability that it does have. I think when I first listened to it, it was already fire, but just coming back to it throughout, this year alone has been a joy because I know what to go to, but I'm still discovering new songs off of the project or new parts of songs off of the projects every single day. So, yeah, man, this is definitely a second project off of my best of the year so far list. Hell yeah. Yeah, about 6 no, it's 15, 15. Yeah, Purple Swag came out 2011, yeah, 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 yeah. Helicopter, helicopter. I love it. Oh my god, it's gonna get on my nerves because I know about hold on, I'm looking Punk Rocky. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that shit. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. The sound. Yeah, yep. Mm, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I've not heard it, but it's black. It's black. Yeah. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I need to check that one out. I saw the commercial or the ad that he did of him, I guess, reconnecting with the bear that he took a photo with for his first album, which was pretty cool because it was yeah, it was a 10-year anniversary of his first album, which is pretty dope. He brings everything into full circle. Yeah, yeah. And I also remember like I've never been a huge fan of Black. I think My Ex Calling was, like, one of my favorite songs from him, but that was from his first album. When he started making more music, I think I kinda, like, lost my connection with him, but I've always known that he's, again, been versatile to a point where he can actually rap and flow. He has a history of being a battle rapper before he was actually rapping, and then moving into making more love songs and more R&B-esque kind of rap songs. So I knew that there was always something there with Black, but I missed out on the run that he did have, and I do want to give this one a listen because I do know that he's making the attempt to kind of bring everything into full circle. So that is a journey that I definitely want to take. So I need to write that one down because I'd be bullshitting on that one for sure. So yeah, but good choice though because yeah, Black is an artist that again, like I said before, has had to work a lot harder to put his music out. You know, because it wasn't always super flashy. He will always find a way to find his own pocket and be able to build off of that with this previous projects. So yeah, it's for you to throw that into the best of this year so far says a lot because you know he's always been a guy that was in the shadows. And yeah, man, he deserved to get, you know, a lot more love for being one of those premier artists within the Atlanta scene. Mm, yeah, I wouldn't care, honestly. Okay, okay, okay. Great choice. Baby King, Casino. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had to throw it in there. Ain't no way I was gonna go through this entire list without mentioning Baby King. His album was so good, and I continue to listen to it. It's continuously in my rotation, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm just, you know, driving around, kind of finding out what to do for the evening. It's such a good album, and I think going to the concert added that extra layer for me to say that this might be one of the best albums of the year, easily. The music itself has a very wide range of variety. You definitely get the trap songs that made him big, but then you get songs like Good Flirts that kind of bring that aggressiveness to a bit of softness with something a little bit more with something a little bit more wavy and rhythmic, but not as crazy. And then also that song is making the other singer, I think her name is Bumble Boy. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm actually looking that up now. It's Momo. Oh, Momo Boy. Yeah, I was right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, getting names right. So yeah, Momo Boyd is becoming a star. She's starting to get her own rise. But this song was the first one, and then like he just he found a way to bring together a concept that tells his story and tells it in the rawest way, and also write a letter to his mom, which was definitely heartbreaking and heart wrenching when I saw it during the concert. It felt similar to what the Clips did during their performance last year, for their parents, which was beautiful. So yeah, man, like I think the concert just kind of solidified that this album might be the best of the year, but the album alone by itself, oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. Casino Casino Freestyle. Oh, Circus Circus Freestyle. Let me say that correctly. Circus Circus Freestyle is probably my favorite track off of the project, but you can't go wrong with the track with Kendrick Lamar. Shit, the intro. Yeah, no, not Good Flirt. It's another song with Kendrick Lamar. Walking in the party, I don't tell nobody. Yeah. What the fuck? Power it up. Yeah. My God, I forgot the name of it. Good Flirt? Mm. Mm. There you go. Easily. Yeah. 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 He's I think that's why I like him. He manages to look into the more bizarre side of things, specifically of the hood of I wouldn't say the hood, but like he takes a more bizarre aspect of his life, I should say, that a lot of people try to refrain from as artists. And he manages to really find that lane for him. The first album kind of showed it, or his first mixtape kind of showed it, but I think Die For My Bitch was the one that really showed who he was at the rawest form, to be exact. Because I think this is a little bit more refined. But in the rawest form, Die For My Bitch was just fun ass music that you could just blast in your car and drive around in. This one's a little bit more thought out, a little bit more technical, but still has the bizarreness from those previous albums. So yeah, man. Yeah, you are right. I think he is also going to be a star easily if his trajectory continues correctly. Yeah. What's your next choice? This is fun. Mm. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was 2 years ago? I don't know. Mm. Yeah. 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 Uh, yeah. I agree. I agree. I always felt like he had that aspect of blues in his music, and I think that this album, with the vulnerability that's here, is an album similar to that. Same Shit is definitely a song that I throw in at the gym all the time, but just to hear other songs like Boy in Red and, Happy Hour, it just made me appreciate how vulnerable he's being with this album. Compared to House is Burning, it's a lot more smoother than that, and I guess that's the point. He's trying to be vulnerable in this project compared to The House is Burning or even some of his older albums where he was just trying to relate to the audience by just being himself. So I think that this album was the album that he needed to make to actually say something for himself and talk about his development as an artist. Because it's always been in the news that he was struggling with moving away from his hometown and now learning how to be an artist and a successful one at that under one of the biggest record labels in rap. But on top of that, you got to deal with a drug addiction. You got to deal with being outed. You got to deal with being vulnerable to the public outside of just figuring out this entire journey. And I feel like this album was kind of showing you that journey in its more pure form. Right. My bad. Also, I was going to say that was my second. That was my next choice. That was on my list as well. Isaiah Rashad's album, actually. Yeah, 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 yeah. Back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. We fought with a lot of the same shit, but I also like the fact that we go out and look for different things. You know what I'm saying? Like I could like songs like Nico's Ashes to Ashes, and then you could like Future's Pluto era. You know what I'm saying? We got our differences that come together, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfucking Voltron. I guess I'm gonna throw out Vince Staples' Crybaby. I know it's still recent. Oh well, damn. I guess we're gonna talk about it now. I got one more in the chamber, so yeah, yeah. But we can talk about Crybaby. I think Crybaby was a really good album. I love the fact that Vince Staples said, "Fuck this shit, I'm doing my own thing," and literally did his own fucking thing with the sound. I like the fact that he sang something. I know a lot of people will easily say there's no music out there where artists are saying something, and you clearly got an artist that's right here actually saying something. On top of that, this nigga been saying shit for fucking years. And now people are now paying attention because he's dropping this album. He said something, he was saying shit with his TV show, he was saying shit in his previous music, whether it was fucking EDM beats or goddamn California beats added to it. He's just always been a very intelligent artist, and I feel like niggas don't give him the respect that he so fucking rightfully deserves. It makes me mad because it's like you got somebody that's clearly talented and clearly giving you something different that's so fucking thrown off, but still who he is as an artist. And I really feel like this album was kind of a fuck you to all of the superficial aspects of what people thought of Vince Staples, as well as a fuck you to the establishment and the fucking imperialism. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like yeah I know. All right, don't have me sitting at the motherfucking hey, you feel me? Hey, so I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like I love the fact that this album is militant. I love the fact that this album also takes me back to the NERD days in some cases with the sound. I always love the fact that this nigga has been versatile when it comes to what he raps over and what he talk, how he makes music. Sometimes it might be like, all right, dog, you doing a lot right now. Other times I'm like, I'm sold. This is going on my playlist. He's always been a great artist. And I feel like niggas don't give him the respect because he just doesn't do what people thinks or what the average American thinks about rap. And I just thought that this album was a great form of revolution and resistance from Vince Staples. And the fact that he's going on tour, he's dropped this album, he's doing shit more independent now. It just the fucking sky is up for him. You know what I'm saying? The shit is up for him. And it might not be the album of the summer or the song of the summer, but he definitely has a project that shows what he can really do if he has his own freedom. Finally. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm, I'm following right now. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 I saw clips of it. Yeah. Yeah. Not anymore, no. Yep, yep. Yeah, yeah. Somebody gonna listen to it. I think that's the thing now. We're starting to get to a point where we're starting to see the artists that we grew up and, saw as superstars, international superstars, get into a point where like you said before, they don't have to drop new projects. They could just easily tour. But I also think with older artists like, Griselda creating music at an older age, even though they're a little bit newer to the scene, I do think that they also found a way to allow artists like Jill Scott, like who's another older, like Juvenile, like these older artists, like LL Cool J or Will Smith, to come back and actually drop some music because they feel like age don't really matter in that case. When it comes to making a good project, in some in some ways, it could be good, really good. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll say Do or Die 3. I heard some tracks off of that project, and I was like, yo, AZ found a way to create his original sound from Do or Die and recreate it for an older audience. You know what I'm saying? But then you got other cases like Will Smith that didn't really make that impact that he thought he was going to make, but still managed to make an album that really shows who he is as an older adult now and as a senior in some cases. He I don't mean the sales though. I don't think that I don't mean the sales. The critical yeah, like the critical and public, because like that's what matters most, the attention. You know what I'm saying? The amount of attention didn't match up to the attention that make we may have gotten from like this Jill Scott album or even Wale's album. Because Wale's getting to that point where he's becoming a star. No, no, I'm not including Wale's album. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I'm not including Wale's album as to one of those albums that got forgotten because it definitely didn't. It has still has a wave around here in DC, so I'm not saying that one, but like to your point, I do think that we're seeing more artists come out with their projects at an older age, and now we're starting to see the vulnerability from that aspect in rap when we didn't originally see it before. At one point, a record label said that you've aged out of the process, and now we're just not going to make any music. But since we do have so many artists, leaving record labels and having the freedom to drop projects, we're starting to see it a little bit more now. And I like that. And I like the fact that you did choose these two because I do think that specifically Jill Scott album truly shows that. It shows that even at this point in her life where she's not the international star or the international actress that she once was, she can still make a really good project and still tour and coast off of that and live her life till it's golden. No puns intended. Or maybe all puns intended. I know, that was terrible. I think the last one for me is going to be Gentlemen's Club by YG. Yeah, yeah. Now, granted, now I'm not gonna add this to my best of the year so far because it just came out at the point that we're recording this. But I will say that it is a good album that caught me off guard because he was really vulnerable in this project. And I wasn't expecting so much vulnerability or so much I wouldn't say militance, but so much assertiveness in providing a message with this album compared to his other albums. He has done it before, but they managed to just be skits that you will, listen to. But for this album, you it was very clear that he was trying to say something and use his sound to say it. So I did like that. I'm still going through the project, excuse me, through the project. So I'm still, figuring things out. But I will say the Gentleman's Club has definitely been in rotation lately. So I'm going to throw that in as a recommendation, or at least best of the year so far. And I also got albums on deck. So I'm definitely going to listen to Whack Museum, Currency, and Larry June's Spinal Staircases. I want to throw that into rotation. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, Larry June definitely is kind of holding the flag for that genre of rap, like the cozy raps. But like, I don't know if it's me, Mexico Dro, Mexico Dro, for cozy raps though. I don't know about cozy raps. Two Chains for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it sounds different. It's yeah. That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of like, and I'm not saying it's bad. That would be dope. That would be dope as hell. I do feel like Mexico Joe doesn't talk like he doesn't talk about trapping and shit like that because he's not that. So he's very honest with his music, which is something that I like. But I thought because of the sound being a lot more aggressive and of that spaced out Atlanta sound, I thought that wouldn't be considered cozy raps. But hey, man, hey, if you like it, we love it. We in there. But then again, I think about Corner Boy P and like the sound that he had because he had a more of a relaxed trap vibe to him, but he managed to kind of really put out something like that was very soulful, but then still trap like. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Mexico Dro was a little bit more reminding me of the Trap or Die. You know what I'm saying? That 2005 to 2010 pocket that I didn't think was cozy raps. That era of Larry is not cozy raps though. We have to be very clear because he was talking about some wild shit in that era. I was there for that era. I was there for that. The Mad Max. Mm, okay. 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 I haven't heard that. I gotta listen to that joke. I gotta listen to that joke. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, okay, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So yeah, I'm gonna throw out the Gentleman's Club, Tierra Whack, Currency, Larry June, Spinal Staircases, the Gorillas album. I want to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Because I definitely fuck with the Gorillas. I remember my cousin having the album on CD, and we was blasting that shit. Maxo Cream and JPEG Mafia, they dropped the collab project. Uh, You like it? I see. I'm trying to tap into it, man. Like I've heard one track off of it. I'm still trying to digest it because it's a lot tougher to digest with Maxo and JPEG Mafia. It's hard to process because it's like you would have never thought. Well, I think now that Maxo's messing with artists like Tyler the Creator, I think now he's able to do it a little bit more. But before that, he was just going for some hard ass Texas Southern beats and shit like that. So it kind of caught me off guard when he was doing this with JPEG Mafia. So I'm still digesting some of the songs off the project, but for what I've heard, I liked. I just want to finish it and actually have an opinion. Yeah. Mm, mm, yeah, yeah. Uh, oh, T.I.'s Kill the King and King Carson's Experiment. Those are my last two on deck. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. He wouldn't be doing these concerts for no. Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I mean, he has the power to do it, but just thinking, I don't know, just thinking about Jay Z and how he thinks, I think that this is aside from the 30 years of Reasonable Doubt. I think that there might be something that he's probably working on if he's not doing it right now. If he does drop something, it wouldn't be surprising. But I think with Jay Z, like he has the power and the influence to actually do a media run like he previously did, for albums. So I think we might see a more of an old school run, like he did if he were to drop a new album. But I do think that these two performances aren't for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's just doing it like fuck it, I could do it. So there could be something down the pipeline, but who knows with Jay Z? Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got that shit on vinyl. It was Yeah, I got it on vinyl. Yes. He's been showing up on my playlist a lot more. Yes, actually. I think he's on my I think he's on my playlist. I think he's actually on one of my he's gonna be on my next mix, I think. Yeah. What have you heard? Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah. 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 He's from North Carolina? What? I see, I did not know that. Shit. Yeah. 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 Go on, raise up. Yeah. 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 Got yeah. Back working. Peace.